Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Dexter Resurrection. This one's going to be doing a discussion video for today. We're going to be talking about Dexter Resurrection Season 1. We are coming to the end of Season 1 here in just a few more days. But I want to discuss the season because, I mean, it's practically over. I want to talk about, do we think that this is the best comeback of television of all time? I want to discuss that idea because that is a massive statement that I've heard a lot of people make about this, and I genuinely want to see where everybody's at with this because Dexter is a franchise that I've only been following for about a year, okay? So I'm not exactly like this big, long-running Dexter fan. I'm obsessed with it now, you know what I'm saying? I've been obsessed with it for the last year, but unfortunately, I was late to the party getting into Dexter. My first season live was Original Sin. So it took me, obviously a little while, obviously, to kind of, be at that point where I was like, this hardcore fan for like, all these years. I'm sure the time will come, as Resurrection will continue. I'm sure I'll be a fan for multiple years to, to go forward. But, obviously I binged, Dexter and New Blood, right? So I didn't have that experience. But from the Dexter fans in particular, I'm talking about my Dexter hardcore fans that have been there longer than I have. The ones that have been there since, like, hell, the original series was running. Like, do any of y'all, think that this is a massive comeback for Dexter? Would you say that this is the best comeback of TV? Because here's the thing. Dexter was low on its luck, right? I think we could all agree on that. The ending of Season 8 was not a good ending. With the death of Deb and the way they concluded Dexter's character turning into a lumberjack all of a sudden, and it was really weird. It was not a good way of doing it. The storytelling, the way they ended Season 8, I think pretty much every fan of Dexter would agree that the end of Season 8 was not good. That's why they brought it back 8 years later and they did Dexter New Blood, which, despite the shit that New Blood gets, and I know that a lot of people give it shit now just because Resurrection is so good, which I always hate when people do that. A lot of people, just because one thing is good in the moment, they shit on the other thing that happened before, even though that thing was good. You know what I'm saying? And the New Blood hate that I'm seeing, I find very unjustified. I really do. I think New Blood was a great series, and I'm actually kind of annoyed at seeing how many people are like, oh, that shit New Blood, oh, when they used to praise it back in the day, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the hell, what, like, so I don't know. I don't like when people do that because I'm like, well, you said you liked it before, but now you say it's trash just because another thing is good, Why aren't they just both good? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that mentality. But anyway, and then there's the people that just didn't like New Blood from the get-go. It's those people that makes sense. But the people that used to like New Blood, and now just because Resurrection's good, they're like, New Blood's trash. I'm like, what? Like, I just don't understand that. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that Season 8 didn't end good. Season 1 of New Blood, I mean, it didn't end as bad as Season 8, because at least it was a conclusive ending to Dexter, but it wasn't the death that I think we all wanted. I think killing Dexter off at the end of the Dexter series is something that I always have been an advocator for. I think Dexter should die at the end of the Dexter, franchise, and I actually still hope he does by the end of this whole thing, because I think that's the ending that makes the most sense. They just didn't go about it in a good enough way, because it went from 1 second, let's get out of here, son, to a second later, shoot me. It didn't add up, and it felt very quick. It felt very non-authentic. And it overall just kind of plot holed itself. It didn't really make all that much sense. So I think that's why a lot of people have a hard time kind of getting a grasp at the ending of New Blood. Not to mention, Batista was on his way down to confront Dexter. So they had robbed us of that as well, too, at the end of New Blood. So I understood the hate for the ending of New Blood. Even though I didn't hate it, I did definitely understand the hate for it. I just kind of disliked it. I thought it was a little poorly told, but I didn't hate the ending of New Blood. I never did. I just thought it was like, okay, they didn't end it correctly, but it wasn't like the end of Season 8, you know what I'm saying? So they brought it back, in default to that, and, bringing a character back from the dead is a risky move in entertainment, you know what I'm saying? You don't really know how that's ever going to go. Not to mention, it's got to be the right story. There's a lot of things that factor into that. Resurrection, I can honestly say, is one of the first times in television that I've ever seen this happen. They came back, and they came back fucking swinging. They really did. The old essence of the show is there. The new elements blend in very well. And that slight feel of that New Blood continuation is also there. they really, really did a good job of bringing this back, and honestly, the ratings on IMDb show it. I mean, we did a video on that yesterday. The ratings are incredible, and it makes sense because this is a show that actually is doing what the fans want to see. They gave us the downfall of Batista and Dexter. They gave us that. We got that full confrontation, that full season of him coming after him, and we now have seen that story play out like the fans wanted to see. He's made his relationship really good with his son. Him and Harrison are like Deb and Dexter, you know, like they're on the same page a lot, you know what I'm saying, like the original show, and that's what I like about the relationship. It's really good, Harrison and Dexter. I think it's way better than the relationship in New Blood, 100%. I love the location of New York. It's really well done. I'm loving the additional characters like Blessing and his family, and obviously getting the additions of Quinn and Masuka back in the story. In particular, Quinn. They've given Quinn quite a few scenes. And obviously, I'm sure they're going to become bigger characters as it continues. Not to mention, it's more than one season, which I think is another reason that people are going to be liking Resurrection more than New Blood, is because Resurrection has time to spread its wings, you know what I'm saying? Do things that are good, you know, and, you know, really give it time, you know, and, I mean, New Blood, the thing I liked about New Blood is that it was unique, and I would say out of Resurrection or New Blood, it is definitely more original. It's more unique. The winter setting, the you know, the way Dexter acts, the Jim Lindsay vibes, you know, all that stuff. Harrison, it was definitely the most unique season of the Dexter franchise. And that's actually why I like New Blood, is because it was different. It was different. It was unique. I liked the setting. I liked the way it went, you know, about its, you know, kind of style. However, I think Resurrection is just that much more stronger because, you know, the group of serial killers, the overall setting of New York, it is new, it is different, it's fresh, and it's exciting. But you also have that old element, like with Harry and Dexter, them two, their banter now, you know, bringing Harry back into the fold, bringing some of the old characters back to kind of, you know, get their interactions in with Dexter, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, still kind of going with, like, the old blood theme and, you know, the old style and stuff like that. The way Dexter acts is very old school Dexter. I found in New Blood he was more kind of, you know, restricted, whereas in this show he's more flamboyant like Dexter usually is, and that's definitely kind of come across for me. So I think overall, I think New Blood is a good show, and I think it gets too much hate these days. I think it's a great show, but I think Resurrection in the end is going to be more successful for them just because they're doing old things but still doing new things, and they're kind of blending that together and making a masterpiece, you know what I'm saying, which I think is, you know, a good job. So that's kind of where I'm at. Would I say that this is the greatest TV comeback of all time? I actually would say it would be, because the fans were really against Dexter back in the day. Like, I remember when New Blood was airing, I wasn't watching it, but I remember when that finale came out, I did hear gossip that Dexter Morgan was killed. And I remember I was just like, damn, they killed Dexter? Like, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know back in the day. I didn't watch it, but I was just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And then everybody was running around saying, oh, this franchise is shit, this sucks, this will never redeem itself, this will be always in the ground, fuck Dexter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I saw that a lot. And then look at it now. It's the most famous television show airing right now. It's got a 9.9 on fucking IMDb. Well, the fans tried to tackle it to a 9.8, but whatever. They did a phenomenal job bringing this back. And honestly, from where they left off to where they had to pick up their slack from the end of New Blood and get into this, yeah, genuinely, they did an impressive thing here. They really did. Impressive job. Very good job. Well done. And I'm very proud of the work that they have done. And it's 100% my favorite show coming out this year. Absolutely. It's been absolutely just phenomenal. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments down below, guys. How do you feel about Dexter Resurrection? Do you think it is the ultimate comeback of TV of all time? Let me know where you kind of sit on that. I would love to hear. And kind of what are your, well, theories for the finale. If you have not seen the leaked finale, what are your theories on the finale? So if you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on DNTV's official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Dexter Resurrection. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. There's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies did a treat. Type Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight. Seen every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.